what you say because we can
Okay,
be
hey
heard.
everybody. Being live
Uh,
stream.
I think it'll take a minute. But, where we go? Here, here. Okay. Oh wait. Huh.
I
Let's
said
see
it
if
was
this.
going.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we're good. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, here we are, third show of the day. It's the equinox coming off of the eclipse, 9/11, triple nine, another eclipse,
Oh.
completion. Nine's a year of completion, month's a year of month of completion. I think we got the 27th, another triple nine. And I've heard that the 28th through the 31st or 30th, 27th through the
Mhm.
30th is going to be the biggest part of the month, but I don't know. I
I
just
feel
know
like
that,
we say this every time we talk.
oh, but this is different. This has got to
Yeah,
be,
this is a whole nother level. I talked a little bit
yeah.
about what's actually happening and also what we've uncovered, as a group, as a collective. So that's exciting. Happy
Well, I
equinox.
mean, I spent a lot of the summer talking about, the 12 years that ended December 21st, 2024, and that something changed. And I know
Mhm.
from my own experience, it changed
Yes.
very, very quickly too, like before the end of the year.
Yes.
And then it felt like, we were all kind of like walking, like in slow motion or something. I don't know. January, February, March came. I'm doing the shows. They're picking back up again. I'm starting to get the call, and I'm like, okay. And I see other people doing it. And through May, people will come on and go, man, something's going on. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something going on. And then in
Yes.
June, the fire started burning
Yes.
and the big mirror was put in front of our faces and people, it was like come to Jesus meetings, a lot of people in isolation
Yes.
and people starting to be able to explain things and explain what they're feeling. But then September came and right around 9/11, and then what happened after that? A few days after that, like the last week has
Yeah.
just been,
Yeah.
and even today has just been
Mhm.
off the charts. I mean, I don't even
Yes.
know how people can say they're not awake or aren't awake, or I mean, it's
Well,
just become too obvious. I mean,
well, I think it's true, and also the people that are awakening, we're really starting to finally see, I guess, kind of I said it today, choice points. People are choosing which
yeah,
direction they're going. Are they stepping into this, I'll say, a higher timeline, a higher collective awakening, a
mm,
consciousness, or we can see where the narrative is also going, right? More into the conservative kind of a different angle of control. So I think we're really starting to see in this 3D reality these two pieces, these two, I'm going to say blueprints because that's what I work in, those types of codes,
yeah,
where people fall, where they
yeah,
how they really feel.
yeah,
Because right, it's one thing to talk about it on Facebook; it's another thing to actually live it
yeah,
and be supported by it, and also uh, friends and family, how they react and how you stand up and hold your field. So this is boundaries. This is mastery. This is
yeah.
mastery time and boundaries.
Well,
That much I'll
yeah,
say.
and touche to that. And the thing about the geopolitical, let's just put it that way. I mean,
Yes.
I can see the writing on the wall. I've kind of seen it before, but every single thing that okay, those and we have the same evolution.
Yes.
Okay, we had the same evolution. We chose everything outside of us
Mhm.
based on our conditioning and programming
Right.
for blame and for love and for this and for that, and everything folded. And so
Right.
that's what's happening out there. People are going to grab onto this and grab onto that and grab onto this. And behind all those curtains is the same answer. You're not going to get anything because the whole point is to choose yourself, is to become more self-aware. And I think because of the work a lot of people like you have done over the years, it's going to be faster
Yes.
for other people. And then you have the young people coming in there that are just carrying a high frequency. But
Yeah. They're waiting. They're waiting for us to break
Mm.
this old system. I mean, that's what I've been working on. Many of us.
Well, does it, I mean, it feels like it's breaking to me because I feel
Yes,
like
it
I'm
is.
breaking.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we were laughing beforehand. Like I'm at the tail end, so I'm still, kind of somewhere in my body. Um, but it's clearing, we're clearing so much. And also, of course, the resonant frequency of our planet has increased. It
Mm,
has been increasing, ever since I started on this expanded journey in 2012. It
mm.
has increased. And so we're seeing days and days of white, days and days of very high frequency. And that creates these timeline jumps that I think we're having today. I just
Oh
looked.
my God. Yeah.
And so when we have a timeline jump, we literally jump quantum leap, right? We start to run off of those higher frequencies. So that's why things fall apart and come together very quickly because that's where we're at. We're able to do that. It's actually quite an amazing feat to see the physical 3D reality manifest so quickly, so beautifully. And sure, it looks like things are falling apart, which most of us have been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, it feels like an implosion. Then
Has to,
you wake
exactly, and
up.
it has to be. We have to.
Yeah.
This is we're grounding a new paradigm, and a lot of I talked about the other day. I'm just looking at my post to see. It's a time of reclamation. This is we're reclaiming everything. We're
Mm,
reclaiming not only ourselves, our soul, our souls, our truth. This is a retrieval time, and I said it the other day. The records have been recovered. The Akashic records. When I talk
mm.
about records, the languages have been recovered. It's something that I've been doing for a long time. Is recovering the languages, keeping them alive. It's one of the things that I've been, blessed to be able to tune into and read and translate most of the records. And that means that our original blueprints are activated, who we really are. Uh, not just, a 3D human, but no, a multidimensional human, a very high level human. We have the architecture within. So for me, it's an important time to have those three things together, and that's what I really felt this week. So
Yeah, I'm trying to put my mind in how many days has it been? I think it's been about 5 days for me.
yeah,
And it was like around 9/11. Of course, we saw it in the world stage, and we
yes,
knew that, and we know the importance of that day, right? And so,
yes,
and then the things that have happened, and all the the dialogue that's come from it, debate, opposition, yeah, and of course we're not watching that, but you feel the energy. And then 4, 5, 6 days ago, um, I had a moment on the beach. I go to the bay. I walk to the bay here in Mexico
mm-hmm.
most every night, and I get over there thinking I'm just going to relax, and all of a sudden the stuff just starts coming in. Boom, 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 and it turns into this whole ride. And like you said, it's a testament to who we are, what we're doing, and what's happening to be able to get, imploded,
Yeah,
one way or the other, and then you come out 3 or 4, 5 days later, and you're on
yes,
the other side. I mean, and this is prior to the equinox and the
yes,
eclipse,
yes,
but here we are in the middle of it. I mean, have you seen? I've seen two pictures of the Schumann in the last day. Like
yeah,
one's like 31-hour blackout, the other one's
right,
like
yeah,
what the hell? Now
yeah.
what is that? What is that? Is that just is that the light codes affecting the resonance?
Well, yes, and also that's that quantum leap I talked about
Mm,
because we're actually moving into a much higher trajectory. That's a higher timeline. And
mm,
that's one of the things that I work on, that I talk about timelines. And so there's a lot of unification, I'll say, of codes
mm.
that I mentioned. That means all the timelines are aligned. So everybody that's here that's been consciously working on multiple timelines, because we've been here before, we're ancients returned. That's the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
we're unlocking those codes through death and rebirth, through internal implosion. And over time, it's much easier because it's like, oh, we're going through this again. And now we're doing it with others. We're doing it in small groups and then larger groups. So, for me, it's been this a very interesting weave. I left Redondo almost 2 years ago, put my things in storage, kissed my son goodbye, and said, I got to go do some work. I need to go on the land, unrestricted. I need to be able to travel and stay wherever I need to stay for how long I need to stay. So that's what I've been doing for 2 years, back and forth, weaving a lot of recapitulation of contracts and things for the
Mm.
land, the tribes, Lemuria mainly, but also, some pieces that were still kind of hanging around. And so that's what I heard: get on the road. It's
Right.
time for you to travel and to see everybody and get your boots on the ground. Because it is community. We've been talking about community forever. There's many, many iterations that we've all gone through. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just trial and error. What works, what doesn't work, right? We all want tribe, but what does that look like in this modern time? So, for me, it's a lot of trial and error, and seeing who moves to you know, the next octave. I speak about octaves a lot. So
Yeah, that's a good
it,
that's a
yeah,
good metaphor.
right. It's all frequencies. So I
Mm.
speak in tones, and that's how I communicate. For me, what is the frequency? That's it. It's not what it looks like or what people are saying, but what is the frequency being emitted? Because to hold frequencies consistently has been the challenge. But
Mm-hmm.
as this group, as the soul groups have been doing beautifully for many years, is holding the field, and they continue even through trials and tribulation. But yes, we're in a big death and rebirth. That's what I'm seeing, which includes choice points. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you're coming out of it, who are you now? Right? What actually makes sense? What doesn't make sense? Who makes sense? Who doesn't make sense? What are you
Yeah.
doing? Where are you living? It's that old kind of saying, that
Yeah.
meme that we've seen. So it gives you a chance to really look at who you are and what you're doing, and what your mission is, and what's next. So it gives us that opportunity because we have to stay still. We have to
Did
lie
you
in bed.
did you have like and I've talked to some people about this. I know I have. Um, went through this, layer by layer deconstruction, including Soulogy, which literally came to a stop,
Yeah,
for especially for the amount of shows we were putting out. But
I know.
and everything just came and you were talking about community, and we know, and I've watched many people do that over the years and say, oh, we're going to do this, and then you hear about it later and everybody was fighting. But
Right,
I don't think that the universal consciousness was embodied on the enough.
right.
Like those things we weren't ready. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I for the first time, people talk about timeline jumps, and I certainly feel things from time to time. But this is the first time in the last few days. This is the first time I've ever said, and I didn't say just timeline. I said we have just, uh, risen to a higher dimensional timeline. Like it
Hmm.
feels to me another dimension. So it's one thing to shift within a dimension, but to me, we've gone over the top here. Like
Yes.
I feel like everything you just said like was right on point. I'm like, oh yeah, she's here too, or
Yeah.
there's other things that I'm noticing that
Yeah.
don't have to be said, or
Right.
this higher than telepathy thing happening,
Yes.
or
Hmm.
even the third energy uh showing its influence. Like, okay, you get sick and we remove this to another day, and it's the equinox and it's the third show of the day and everything happens in threes, and
Right.
and
On
an
the third.
earthquake goes off right at the same time,
Yeah.
and I get sick, and it's like,
I'm coming on the other end.
but you no pun intended, right?
I know.
But but what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like, now I could see it. Now I could see where we could step into this space because
Mhm.
so much is, I guess, at this level is understood, and we
Yes.
don't even have to talk about the stories
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
There's something, and it's a bit strange and weird, fascinating, but I mean, weird in the sense that we're not used to this, or at least it's been many, many lifetimes, or millennia of lifetimes since we
Yeah.
last saw it.
Exactly. Which
Mm.
is the reclamation of. It's funny as you're speaking, I'm seeing us all. I've talked about cymatics before, I know on the show. It's
Mm.
when the group, right? Because I'm here at my friends in Orange County, Matisse Wellness. They're beautiful. They do amazing work. I haven't seen them in a long time. And we did a lot of work like 10 years ago at Giant Rock. Giant Rock and Tegratron, they play the bowls. And uh, anyway, they started coming into my field not too long ago. And so I can see where the cycles are. And for
Right.
me, a lot of my cycles are finished. I ended a lot of cycles. So when you were speaking, I was seeing we're on cycles. It's when a lot of us are on the same cycle. We've run enough iterations.
Right.
So that's why it's telepathy, because we're on the same cycle. It's like we're on the same wave, right? If
Yeah.
you want to go into the waves. And then the cymatic is where the group dynamic creates a sacred geometry, it creates a frequency. So even when the group leaves, they're still carrying, right, the frequency of what was done within that circle. And I think enough meetings have happened over the years in person, online, that we are running in a very beautiful sacred geometry or cymatic. And that's what I believe you're speaking of with a higher dimensional frequency. We are way more galactic now. We are in a
Hmm.
galactic renaissance. That
Yeah.
is the reconnection with our star family, our cosmic family.
In our
Because
own,
in our own family, our
our
soul
own,
families.
like our own aspects that, have now
Yes,
fully come in. I'm gonna go back
right.
to something though, because
Okay.
I'd like to know. Well, okay, so I'll just tell you what happened. So this whole thing about the cycles,
Yes.
um, when on June the 1st, first of all, I went to bed at June the 1st, literally at midnight. So it was 12:01 June the 1st. I look out the window. I hear a storm is coming, which isn't uncommon over here.
Right.
And I look out the window and I see and hear this boom, like it sounded like a giant cannon. And I look and I see an orange, goldish, yellowish fireball explode. And
Wow.
I knew it was a portal.
Mm.
Anyway, so that started things. Like somebody shot the starter pistol off, and then over the next 2 or 3 days, I start getting downloaded and I'm shown these patterns to the day of 14 years, 11 years, 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, 4 years, 2 years, and how they're all kind of, coming back intertwined, let's just say on the one timeline, and
Yes.
how these points are meeting. But
Yes.
what I had gotten out of it was, yeah, well, death and rebirth, it's, the one and the same. So is it really ending or is it beginning or is it both kind of thing? But I was told, look behind you and see the patterns. And now you can look before you and you will see the same ones, but they won't be in distortion. And you'll be able to recognize them. So my question is, um, if you could elaborate a little bit more on that in terms of what you were saying as far as the co-creation and collaboration, and
Mhm.
also, are you seeing like a massive uptick in synchronicities?
Yes.
I mean,
Very
just like,
much. Yes.
okay,
And that's another thing. That's another tell of we're on the same cycle, right? You think about cycles. And I see things in like uh, the 5 cycles, right? So the kind of Fibonacci, and also the when I see like uh, I guess it would be Fibonacci. And so I see how things come in the center, right? And then they start going out,
okay,
right? And then they start coming back in. Do you see?
yeah,
And it's the cycle. That's the cycle, but it goes
okay.
quicker. We're in a much faster
So you're
because
saying that
time.
it changes the other direction, like it
Right. So
goes
think
in
about
and
it.
comes
Uh-huh.
out like you're screw.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
what time
because
is, Todd. Because what's
yeah,
time?
yeah.
That's how do we measure time? Time is just cycles because we're not measuring in linear time. So how we actually the agreed upon time structure is that it's a
Yeah.
cycle. And
I
how quickly we go in and out is very
so
important.
so okay, now that you say that, and I've got to mention this because it just happened, and you know how these things come in, you just know you're
Yes.
supposed to do it because we're on the same cycle.
Yes.
But it was right at the 1st of September, and I actually did my soul made me turn the live on and just go live and tell them what happened. And it's dark out, and I didn't want to do it, but when I went to this little beach that I go to, it's a secluded little beach in the middle of a neighborhood, and it was late enough nobody was there. And as I'm walking into it, I could feel, and my words at the time were, more energy than I've ever felt around me. It's almost like I could see all beings, you know?
Mhm.
And so I walked to the middle of the beach opening, and I'm standing in front of the water, and all of a sudden that happened to me. It started going clockwise.
Yep.
It started turning, and I'm standing in the middle of it, and I have this experience now today. When I got off the second show, and I felt like I was dying, or what's going on here, you know? And so I went and grabbed a sandwich. I thought maybe I'd better eat something, drink some water. I lay on the bed, I close my eyes, and all of a sudden everything's turning the other way. And I can
Yep.
see like little plasma bubbles all around me. I'm going, holy shit. And my body, of course, is going, you're dying, you're dying, you need to go to the
You're
hospital.
dying.
So I'm glad you
You are
explained
dying though. Yeah,
it. Of course. All right. Yeah,
that's
please,
true.
please continue. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to
Continue.
put that in there.
Yes,
That,
no, that makes perfect sense. So think about it, right? So 3, 6, 9, 12, right? All the iterations. So we not only go faster, we also go further,
mm,
right? Because we're on a higher trajectory. So that's what a timeline jump is. It's almost like we go further out into the universe, and then it comes back. And we receive all of that information, those of us that are on that, on the train, so to speak, on that cycle, on that phi cycle. So that's why we all have the same information. We're all writing the same thing. We don't have to speak anymore. It's just an understanding because we're operating in a higher frequency. The higher frequency is not words. It's not about words. It's about tones. It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's right.
I
Which is
wonder if,
why the language I've uncovered, and this I was told this. I wasn't even like whatever, but that's what I was told, that you're preserving all the languages. I'm like opening up all the databases for all the languages over time and space, all the ancient languages and tongues and
mm.
languages of water, language, all of the nature languages, Lemurian, Atlantis. So that's kind of what I've been working on. One of the things I've been working on is opening up all of that information so we all have access to it, whether
Mm.
it's conscious or not. But look how many people speak light language now. That didn't exist even, when I started in 2012.
No, I mean, when I
So
started
look at
doing
it.
this show 8 years ago,
Right.
4,000 episodes ago, it was
Wow.
probably a year or so, or maybe, yeah, maybe a year before. And then, yeah, it would be every now and then it was a whole bunch of people. But you
Yeah.
said you said something about when we spiral out,
Right.
we're going further out,
Yes.
and and how we're writing the same thing and all that. And I wonder if that's why in the last week or so, and it's weird, but in different ways of explaining it, people talking about their galactic aspect,
Yes.
embodying their galactic aspect,
Yes.
you know, like,
That's the Renaissance. That's
yeah.
the words I heard. We're in a galactic renaissance. It's a revival, right? It's a renewal of our star pieces, and there's just so much information now online. I mean, it blows my mind.
And
And
what
like you
about
said,
the
the star seeds, the
and
kids.
what about the since you've got them behind you, and it's been part of my experience,
Yay!
throughout, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
they've been the dragon,
Yes.
my
Yes.
dragon energy, or however you want to put it,
Right.
dragon consciousness
Yes.
has been very present in these
Yes.
last, it's been there all the time, but in like these last 7 to 10 days, it's like come on full
Oh yeah.
blast. Is
Yeah.
that
Everybody.
related to the galactic embodiment?
Yeah, they're part of it. There are galactic dragons, but there's dragons in these realms. They kind of work like the whales. They hold the field a lot in the inner earth realm. where the whales hold it on the in the water. But there's also water dragons, of course. But it's you said it's a consciousness, right? It's
Mm,
a remembrance.
mm,
And so that's what unlocking all of this information is. It creates the remembrance because they still exist. They still exist in other domains, and a lot of them are starting to move into ours. So we will start to see a lot more in this physical reality. It's because it's safer because the frequency is a match, right? You're not going to see something or receive something if there's not a match to that frequency.
right.
So collectively, there's much more of a broader belief system because people just know, they know, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to talk about it because the support is there. And that's the biggest thing. You remember in the early days, that was the one thing I heard. Like, I don't feel seen. Nobody understands me, right? The support.
Yeah, yeah,
So that the internet has been such a major piece of like, oh, I'm not alone.
right.
I'm not crazy, right? All the other.
Well, now we know crazy's not crazy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think she just disappeared, or is that me? Who's the one frozen here? Uh, I think it might be me, or is it her? Hang on. Oh no, it's her. Well, she's on a limited internet. God, we'll have to get her back. This was getting good. We'll give it a few minutes because where she's at, she had very limited internet. I think she had a time limit on it. I thought she might have had more time than that, but um, yeah, this stuff with the dragons and the galactic thing, and she might come back. We'll see. But yeah, this last week has just been phenomenal. Um, it really has. It's just been absolutely mind blowing. I can't even think of like when it really started, with the way my head is all cloudy. But I think around the 17th, maybe 16th, 17th. Really, this month has been about completion, right? And that 999, the 9/11, the eclipse, the other eclipse, the new moon, and now the equinox. So maybe I'll get in touch with her and we'll get her back on here again. Valerie is frozen. Yeah. Well, she's gone now. Let's see. I still have Wi-Fi. I don't know if that was me. Yeah, it is you. Oh, okay. Let me just tell her to reboot or try again. Try again. It's you. Uh, click the link. See what happens. Yeah, so maybe I was kind of motivated to maybe do like a panel tonight or just do an open mic or something and but in between these three shows I've just been wiped out and I heard there was an earthquake down here in Mexico somewhere. Yeah, and what would you expect? The energy is just it's just off the charts. But I love what she was talking about with, we've hit this higher timeline, or I'm saying a timeline in a higher dimension. There's so much understood between us, those that are on the same cycle or the same path or this timeline that I'm talking about. Um, Less has to be explained. Oh, here she comes. Uh, the co-creation continuity, the community is going to become, uh, you know, much easier to align with, and I think it also speaks to the efforts that we've all done, that we've all put out,
Yeah.
that have brought us to this place. Okay, you're back, thank God.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
No, no, you're good. Oh, so you were talking about, yeah, I was going to ask you, God, now I forgot. I was like, oh my God, I got to get it
Dragons.
back. Well, we're talking about the dragons, but I don't know. There's just something. Oh, I know what it was. Okay, so given this, okay, and this is September, and this is a 9 year. Um, and I don't even like talking about the future anymore because it's become so obvious that we can't really stay there very long anyway if we do.
Right.
But wow, if we're at this place now and we've
Mhm.
gone way out there and come back and we're going to go way out again,
Yeah.
and community and co-creation and collaboration, we know that's the order of the day. Like that's why we came to do it in this fashion, to do it together.
Yes.
Um, God, I can't even, it feels like it's going to move very, very fast. I don't know. What are your
Yes, it
thoughts?
is. Yes. Just what I'm saying, we're moving much up. It gives the illusion that time is speeding up. And so that's where things happen instantaneously. Like you're saying, the synchronicities,
Hmm.
that's telling you that is your 3D, those are confirmations, right? That you're in the right place. And I've noticed them. And that also creates, that's the higher resonant field. So those synchronicities, especially when you recognize them, you just keep getting more of them. So, I'm not going to say that we're in uh, uh, I see it, a wormhole. It's kind of like that, Todd, if that makes sense. It's not exactly a wormhole, but if you think about what that does, right, it moves like a planet to a whole nother solar system. And a lot of us do travel through wormholes to get to other planets. I do when I do my meetings.
Hmm.
So we're kind of in that energy. And, again, it's just a much faster uh, time cycle, phi cycle, however people like to see it. Uh, and that creates this new reality. And so we will, like I said, start to see a lot of things shift quickly, including other life forms, other beings being present,
See,
like they
that's what
used
I
to,
think.
like they used
That's what
to.
I see. Like
Yeah, we.
yeah, I had
It was all of us.
I had two because I've had a pretty good relationship with the sea, the
Yeah.
sea kingdom,
Yep.
and had some nice, really cool events happen. But the other night during this month, early this month, I went out to the bay. It was dark. It was already dark, and I heard and saw through my third eye two sirens. And I
Yeah.
didn't know what a siren was. I had to look it up, which is kind of a mermaid kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And when I looked it up, I thought, yeah, that was it right there. They looked like
Yeah.
synchronized swimmers,
Yes.
and they were basically the message was basically we're coming in now. We're bleeding
Yeah.
in. You're going to
Yep.
see us more. We're not. We feel safe now, or something like
Yes.
that. I
Right.
Yeah, so I agree. And the animal telepathy that I've had this summer has been the highest I've ever had by far. Like
Oh,
I've
it's
heard,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I tend to go, where the cats are.
well, that's what
It's part of
I'm house sitting
right.
with two cats. I've never lived with
Yeah,
an
feline.
animal. I've never
Yeah,
lived with an
I'm the
animal.
feline.
And
Yeah.
the female cat talks to me in words sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa. But
It's
well,
amazing. I mean, this is what it used to be like, right? Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt.
mm,
I mean, a lot of us who, have those memories, remember. And we had animals, wild animals. It was just a very different time. And also with our fae, the fairies and all of the elementals, that's
yeah,
also, they're coming next, especially if you live near a forest or, like you said, the ocean, the
yeah,
Sasquatch, that whole group up in like Shasta,
yeah,
in the wood, the energy is it's very palpable.
yeah,
They want to, they want to show up, but it's that fear part, right? So when the collective fear reaches a point where, oh, okay, we're okay with this, right? They're not going to hurt us, and we're going to send off a frequency of love and of acceptance, and that's coming. It is definitely coming.
Y-
So
you
it's
know,
exciting. Exciting
you
for
know what?
me.
Oh, I'm excited about it. I mean, I have
Right?
like I'm watching the distortion get louder, but
Yes.
the individual transformation is paralleling it and getting bigger
Yes.
or as big or bigger. I just find
Right.
it interesting because I look for signs,
Yes.
and like the narrative since what happened to Charlie Kirk, how
Right.
you can see well, I will say this for myself, and I think most people here, but it's both the two sides are one. Like
Right.
regardless of how divisive it looks, and there's an element of that. And one of the things I find really interesting, and I know this just applies within the realm, but
Yeah.
the flag going up that there's dark principalities and this and that, and I'm like, wow, that's cool. That's getting that deep on such a global, a global platform,
Right.
and so that's the kind of thing that's going to drive people to themselves, I
Mhm.
think. In other words, they're just not going to have anywhere else to go, which is
Right. That,
kind of what a dark night of the soul is, right?
yeah.
You there?
Right. And that's the choice point, as I mentioned earlier. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You see
There's a
me?
lag. Yeah, yeah. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Um, I'm saying those are the kind of operations that we can see try to polarize, right? They try to polarize people,
Yeah,
but they also people pick a side. They make a choice. Which where am I going to go? Am I going to? It's a and collectively, I mean, just happened in Nepal. That's unprecedented, what just took place. But that is exactly where we're at. That generation is ready, right? They're ready
yeah,
to step in.
yes, right.
So.
And it's wild too. Today is Franco Di Nicolo's birthday,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
And well, he transitioned in
That's
21,
amazing.
but it's just you know what I mean. It's just the
I know.
specific information that he they brought to the table, and at the end of the shows we did
Yes.
together, the end of 21, this is the time he was talking about. And
Yes.
he's been part of my
Yeah.
experience this month and some others that
Ah,
I know.
I love that.
So yeah, there's some connections being made, not just from him, but a couple other people they're on the other side,
Yes.
through common people. And
Yes.
you can see the pieces and how they fit. And this is cool because,
Yeah.
because
Right.
it used to be you were like, oh, this happened and that happened, then you build this whole story, but now it's actually just happening, organically. And
Yes. It's amazing.
yeah,
I see it too. So I'm excited for what's coming. I feel like a lot of us have finished. I'm finished with a big part of the things that was working on since 2012.
right.
So that's for me. And I think a lot of us, a lot of the cycles have ended.
Yeah,
So now we're going to see the physical manifestations of a lot of that
right.
work individually and collectively.
Yeah.
So it's a very powerful time.
Yeah, that's what my soul told me. My soul told me into last year.
Yeah.
It said the things that you guys came to do, you did in these 12 years.
Yes.
And you did it in the
Yeah.
distortion. And those were the seeds. You didn't think, you didn't give yourself
Yes.
enough credit. You didn't, you still can continue the echoes of still having to do it. But you're right. Things are being tidied up. They've been tidied up. The cycles have closed down. And now the new cycles begin, which are really in a atmosphere of immediate reciprocity. And
Yes.
we're starting to see each other and acknowledge the pieces at the same time and not trying to prove it to each other because it's so obvious. And
Right.
that's a powerful thing.
Right. I just got chills.
Yeah.
I got chills when you were talking. So it is the manifestation, the physical, right? The embodiment. And I know time to embody all of this stuff, right? All the codes, all the downloads, everything that everyone's been doing. And I think it's taken this 3-4 years here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021, I felt that. So 4 years. So
Yeah.
I see things in those cycles, and I talked about this before. 2012 to 2019 was a very important 7-year cycle.
Yeah.
And then I saw, okay, 2020, right? And we've got these shorter cycles, but I'm seeing, and a lot of them overlap. So it's not that they're all linear. And that's the other difference. So that's why it appears that all this stuff's happening, but in truth, it's all the cycles as individual. And we have to run out the unworkable permutations, Todd, individually, right?
Yeah.
What works, what doesn't work.
Right.
Collectively, what works and what doesn't. And we're very clear what doesn't work. And we're seeing it reflected, like I mentioned, Nepal and other,
Yeah.
The kids, they're rising up. They're like, no, we're not taking this. We're not going to deal with this corruption and all that. So we're at a very important time in this timeline. And like I said, we will see major changes. Yeah.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. My sense is
Yeah.
that from here until the March equinox, it's going to be a little hairy. There's going to,
Yeah.
and then we get spit
Yes.
out the other side, and enough of us, like this, like say those of us that you're talking about now, they're on the same cycle. We'll be, I don't know, we might be
Yes.
walking on water come next spring, but I really feel like like the experience I had today with the funnel or the vortex or whatever that was, those things happening more and
Right.
more often, more frequently, and other skills and abilities and sensitivities being turned on. It's already
Yes.
happening.
I was
But
going to post that.
it's happening at a higher, it's happening now at this higher timeline,
Yes.
which means it's going to have an increased frequency in a bigger, a bigger volume of the experience. And you mentioned something about sustaining it. We couldn't sustain these things before, but now, it's possible.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. And this morning, when I woke up, I started seeing, and I said, I'm seeing differently. My
Mm,
eyes, something has shifted, and
mm,
I was going to post that, like superhuman strength, superhuman, not strength, but or superhuman abilities
mm.
are going to the next level. I felt that this morning, and also I've kind of gone through this physical, uh, you know, implosion on some level. And that's all information, whatever else that I'm storing in my physical body. And so it
Yes.
has been a very physical journey these last couple of years,
Oh, hell
uh,
yes, it has.
right? For all of us,
Mm-hmm.
more than ever. So, and, we have to clear the old codes, the old information, the old templates, because that's why what we see still running in our now 3D reality, it doesn't make any sense, but
No.
it's just running on a program. So as we individually clear that out of our own system, again, the collective decides, what are we going to take? What are we going to handle? Collective choice point. I'm seeing it today. Uh, what's a yes? What's a no? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So that is, so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're
And it's about
for the
time. Well,
yeah, for the kids.
I think energetically enough of us have gone, you know what? I'm tired, man. Like,
Right? I'm tired.
we've squeezed this towel dry. I mean,
Right.
we've wringed it raw, you know?
We have, and it's like, and I've seen this before. We have to topple it so the kids can step up.
Yeah.
Uh, they're already doing it. They're
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah. Well, once that happens, you can't stop it. I
No,
mean, I'm
that's
talking about in the physical
I know.
because, really, I mean, in the etheric field or the energetic field, it's done. It's just more of, like you mentioned, the programs. To me, it's like the programs have been neutralized, but the patterns of behavior are still in place. And these are the things, for me anyway, these are the things that I've looked at. Like, yes, I discovered the biggest program I had, but it was the pattern behavior. You hear a lot of people talking about overgiving, overgiving.
Yes,
Uh, and it used to be worded like I'm giving, they're taking my power. No, they're not. I'm overgiving. That's what it is.
boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. So you learn, yeah, you learn to define yourself and see yourself for what it really is. And that's crazy because that's what drives the whole thing. You know, it really is.
Right. And also, I think we're at a point, Todd, that we can collectively look at our shadow, the
Oh yeah,
collective shadow,
yeah,
right? Because we've done the inner work.
yeah,
And so now that's what's happening. We're looking, what is this collective shadow?
yeah.
What have we said yes to? Or said, for me, it's either you did something or you don't do something, right?
Right,
And I don't look at right or wrong because
right.
I look at tone and frequency.
Yeah,
That's it.
right.
And when that changes, it can't sustain itself. So whatever is running at those lower frequencies, they're not able to sustain.
No.
So it's just a matter of time, right? Who's going to push it over, and
Yeah,
that's where things are being pushed over. Uh, my friend Robin says that, you push the rock up the hill, right? You push it over. It's got
yeah.
momentum. We're
Right,
we're on a roll,
right.
literally. So we're on the way down, if you want to look at that analogy. Or again, if you like the cycles and the circles, and the Fibonacci, that's really where we're at, and that's how we operate.
Yeah,
We're numbers and frequency. That's
yeah,
how the universe works, right? So, it's that piece, and also the collective no.
yeah.
The
Yeah, I've
collect
had enough. I've had
Yeah,
enough. Just like
that's
we all
the
did. Just
yeah,
like we did in
like
our own dark nights of
right.
the soul and
Yes,
going, you know what? No more of this.
yes.
It's not personal. It has nothing to do with anybody else, but I'm not participating. No, no more.
Exactly. It's not personal, it's vibrational. And
Yeah.
and I say that. That's a good t-shirt. It really isn't. And I've had to be in deep surrender these last couple of years because,
Yeah.
traveling, and I'm a Taurus. I like my house and my comforts, and just having to be on the road, and just, you know, not knowing where I'm going to be next week. And okay, just deeper surrender, deeper
Yeah.
into the not know. And that's the thing. If you're comfortable with not knowing, then you're way ahead of the curve, because a lot of people still want to keep in the safety. They want to
Well,
know.
we can't. You can't. There's no way, you know?
So
I
it's that
mean,
comfort as a group. And
yeah.
again, the young people
Yeah.
don't care,
Yeah.
right? They're not willing to put up with that. It's an insult. And it's just been more of a generational thing. And that's where a lot of the older generation, they don't like change,
Yeah.
right? The boomers, they don't want to see anything change, the fear. So it's kind of moving out of that. And that's enough momentum now.
Yeah.
So right,
Well, I mean, I'm 1961, so depends on who you ask. I'm either right at the end of the boomer
you're
or but
progressive,
but 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 understanding who the boomers are
right?
in mass like my parents, okay?
Right,
Yeah,
like my parents.
yeah, like you, their conditioning was all fear. It was all
Yeah,
reliance on the system and fear. And
yes,
then the 60s
right.
came and I remember that very well. And I feel a lot of the same energies now
Yeah,
that I saw as a young boy with my aunts and my older brother and my uncles and stuff. And I see it like, so to see that thing in Nepal or to see
yeah,
a million people marching in England or, I mean, this is like wild. I mean, and then to see what's going on in America and that it's centered here for
yes,
some reason. It is. It's everything's coming to a point, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But the thing you said about not being able to sustain,
yeah,
too, if you just look at the basic, I don't say propaganda, but the stories that are put out there based on the events that happen, they've had to eat humble pie like, 10 times in the last 6 weeks because
right.
they'll come out and say one thing and then they'll get caught red-handed and have to say another thing. And then you get somebody on a stand telling stories and not answering questions. And I'm not political. I'm just laughing because I'm going, look, man, they're just digging a bigger hole for themselves. And,
I know.
what's another way to say I found my soul is I showed my ass and I got over it. I mean, because we've all done that.
There's no more hiding. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're in such a state of transparency.
Yeah.
This is transparent times.
Right.
This is the time of truth,
Yeah.
because you can't hide, whereas before you could. I mean, some groups still try, but we're at that point, that needle, it's moved to the other side.
Yeah.
There is no going back.
No, there's no, it's
So
the time is over.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like you said, all the information, everything's done in the higher realms. All
Yeah.
the cards
Yeah.
are done, all the energies are done, everything's done.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, again,
I love how the energies play a part.
so exciting. Happy
Yeah.
end with you,
Your
Tom, and
your
everyone else.
yeah, your video and yeah, but the energy is cool. Like you go back and look at it. I don't know, they might correct it. It seems pretty good about correcting the video and
Um,
the audio feed.
okay.
But yeah, it's breaking up a bit. But hey,
Oh,
we'll have to do this again and touch base like in a couple of
yeah,
months and
that's
and when you
great.
get some stable internet and we'll go deeper. But thank you for coming
Okay,
on.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
Todd, so much. Thank
Yeah. You keep doing
you,
what keep doing what you're doing
everybody.
and I'll see you soon. I can't hear you.
Oh.
Oh, there you are. You're back. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks for coming in and I'll hit you up. We'll do it again in a couple of months. Okay? All right. Peace out everybody.